If it'll pick back up. Welcome back. We just had a technical difficulty that it just dropped out, but we're back. So we're going to
Yeah.
continue on with the conversation. But there are, even the president of the United States has to make their own arrangements when they become president because you never know what may happen while they're president. And if they live another 50 years or 100 years, then they're responsible for making those types of decisions when they first go in. So the arrangements have been made, people know what's going on, and you don't have to leave that onto your family. So now
Right.
I know that you have a tremendous legacy already. You've traveled around the world. You teach young people, with the school. You're a part of the Rotary. But I want to speak to that. Like this organization that you have, Sir Synergy, is also a financial independent opportunity because you are working in the United States as well as abroad to establish energy that can help save money as well as make money in the proper context if they have the
Right.
right, energy supply and all of those things. So I want you to address that for me if you don't mind.
So what I'm making sure I understand the question. What did you want to know about how what plans do we
Yeah,
have
what
or
what
what are
what
we
did they,
doing?
what
Okay.
can they do with Sir Synergy that could be an opportunity? Let's start with that.
Okay. Okay, for sure. Yeah. Well, part of again, the concept
Synergy
again with
that could be
synergy
an
is to
opportunity.
empower
Let's start
people
with
with
that.
energy, right? So part of that is providing a way to generate your own electricity, for example, with solar panels or geothermal, or using clean and renewable energy to generate electricity. But in addition, part of our mission and part of what we stand for is to also bring those skills and that technology to our community. So part of what we do is we train people on how to do solar, how to become a inspector for a solar system, or how to build or design a solar system, how to install it, how to get certified. I mean, that's really the name of the game today is what's the paper you got to show that you know how to do this, right? So we put together a class last year for people who wanted to get into the solar business to get them certified in what's called NABCEP, the North American Board of Certified Energy Professionals. And so now I'm certified as a NABCEP associate. And so now I can say, yes, I know how to do solar. I know a little bit to be dangerous, right? And so that's part of our goal is that with those type of certifications, yes, you can go work for a Sunrun or whatever, but our goal is to say, all right, let's feed back into what we're trying to do. So those young folks or those people that have gone through our class, we're employing them. We're saying, okay, all right, we got these projects coming up, and we wanted you to get your hands dirty now with what you learned theoretically in the classroom, and now, okay, let's design a system. What is it going to take to if okay we know we've looked at the electric bills for this particular business, right? We know how much they spend to the utility. How can we help them save some money on their electric bill, or maybe how can we replace that utility altogether? So what do we got to do? And that's a real life problem. We have to look at things like what shade is affecting the building, and what maybe even before we look at that, what can we cut down so that we don't have to spend, we don't have to buy, for example, 20 panels, we can buy 15 panels, which changes the cost, right? So how do we help them first save energy? So that's all part of the process of education, and that's a billable service. We can say to a business or to a homeowner, hey, if you want us to do an energy assessment, we can come in and do that, and we can give you all kind of stuff. We can monitor your electricity, and we can show you how you can save money, even if you don't go solar. Even if you can't do solar, we can show you how to save X amount of dollars, be it $50 or a couple $100. That's a savings right there. And so, is that worth your time to invest in a company that can show you how to do that? We think it is. So that's part of what we're doing is training people on how to do those type of things. again, starting with the energy assessment piece all the way up until let's design and implement a system that's going to provide electricity or provide heating and cooling in some cases to save money and also help save the planet. So it's kind of what we call a holistic approach. Our CEO Senyo, he says, we want to provide a solution to the energy equation.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope I answered your
Yes, you
question.
did. So
Okay,
there are opportunities that people can reach out to you and begin to learn a
definitely,
skill or a trade and begin to
definitely,
apply those skills that they have learned and that trade that they have learned through your company, as well as projects that you may futuristically come across. And if there's not a project, then you can also use those skills to do energy assessments as a consultant.
exactly. And also, let me just add is that we do have tactical and strategic relationships with some of our suppliers and some of our partners, so that because they're saying, hey, in the energy business, we always need people to work on these things. So if you don't have, so if they're on the bench, right, from a consulting perspective, if they're on the bench, maybe we can use some of your folks to help us produce some of these things. So we actually have some folks right now who are working with a company that we have a partnership with, and they're actually touching the equipment that will get installed into one of our clients. They're actually helping manufacture that and test that equipment. So not only do they know how to do the solar piece of it, so to speak, they know the inner workings of some of this equipment that's actually supporting the production of solar energy.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So it's good to know, because I know I talk about you guys week in and week out, and I
Yes,
know
sir.
they like, okay, Search Energy, they about sick of me. They about sick of me. But I wanted to let them know how
That's all right.
important it is, because I worked on solar projects before.
That's right. That's
And
right.
I remember over 10 years ago when I first came to you and said, hey man, let's
That's
do
right.
some of
That's
this,
right.
let's go do some of that.
Right. Right. Right.
And
Right.
we were talking about the project with the taking the street light over to the village,
Right.
so all of
Right.
those
Right. Right.
things. And
Right.
then even talked about going down to Pembroke, trying to do
Right.
some
That's
things
right.
down there, because,
Right. That's right.
I knew then over 10 years ago that this was going to be an industry. Now, President Obama had energy funds available at the time, and he was
That's
promoting,
right.
green
That's right.
energy, solar energy, microgrids, and it was federal funds available to do all these things. Well, unfortunately,
Right.
45 came in and shut all that down.
Shut
Like,
it all down.
no, we ain't
Right.
playing that game.
Right. Right.
No,
Oil
yeah,
forever.
right. My friends are rich oil barons, and
Right. 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 Right.
I'm
Right.
not gonna take no money out of their pocket.
Right.
Nuclear
Right. Right.
plants. Oh yeah, we're not gonna. No, no. We're gonna give them a lifetime license. Okay,
Right. 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 Right.
because
Right.
regulatorily they were doing things that were benefiting only a very limited demographic.
That's right. That's right.
And all over
Right.
the world, like you just said, all over the world, especially in the continent of Africa, they have more opportunities to achieve wealth in this trend than America, because America is kind of slow to move. They like things to be the way that
Right.
they are,
Right.
um,
Right.
and have been. They don't want to change
Right.
things. They don't want to move things
Right.
around. They
Right.
want to
Right.
keep.
Right. Right.
They want to keep. And I said this on my show. They want a loaf of bread to be $10 a gallon.
Right.
They want a gallon of
Right.
milk to be $10 a gallon. They want that.
Right.
They
Right.
want that. They don't
Right.
want.
No
They
doubt.
don't want to change any of that, because they
Right.
the ones making the bread. They the ones getting paid.
That's right. That's
So
right.
it's unfortunate that a lot of the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep struggling. You know.
And that's why something like Synergy is so valuable and actually and somewhat threatening, right? Because we're saying let's change that equation, right? If you can, I mean, just think of it. If you don't have to take your car to the gas station every week, with gas being $5 a gallon right now, and you can fill up your car by just plugging it in to your wall, and the electricity that's coming into your wall is coming off of your
Right.
house. That's a game changer right
Yeah.
there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That changes right
Yeah.
there.
And it's interesting because I was talking to a friend of mine, Lee Michaels. We do a show
Hmm.
together every Thursday
Right.
on
Right.
Street News Now. And he travels from Vegas to LA sometimes once a week, twice a week, because he works primarily, he has a limousine service
Mm.
in LA that he operates out of.
Okay. Right.
And shameless plug for Lee. Uh, and,
That's all
and
right.
and he was saying that there is not one solar charging station between Vegas and
Mm.
LA.
In LA, that's ridiculous.
So I told him,
That's
you find the
ridiculous.
land, I got the people to build
Hey, when I was in Arizona, man, I went ahead and I got on one of these apps. I ended up trying to live the dream, right? So I ended up getting a Tesla,
Mm,
just for the couple days I was there. And actually, it came out a little cheaper than renting from Hertz or Budget. Actually, it was kind of scary. And to fill it up for like a 3-day, 4-day trip, cost me $12 because I went to a supercharging station, and guess what the supercharging station had? Panels above it
right,
and batteries and inverters on the
right.
side. So just that business model alone, having a supercharging station for Teslas, and there was like maybe, I don't know, 16 stalls. If someone is doing that independent and actually setting up their own Tesla supercharging station, guess how much money they're making in a
Yeah,
day? You know, and I mean, and we're talking about each individual car owner only paying pennies on the dollar as far as how much it costs to build to fill up their cars. But if you're getting the electricity from solar, you've made the investment in the infrastructure, and you're getting electricity from solar, and you may be paying rent, it's a cash
yep,
cow. So it makes so and just to make it in perspective, this is again another I also call it revolutionary shift, right? Because there's always been concepts and talk about electrical cars. You might even seen the documentary "Who Killed the Electric Car" that GM had out right years ago. But it wasn't until you had things like Elon Musk, and you don't have to talk about Elon Musk a lot. But the concept was, let's make a electric car sexy.
right,
Let's make it
right.
fast. I mean, the first Tesla could do 0 to 60 in like four
Uh-huh.
seconds. I mean, that's crazy. And let's make it appealing. And now every car company in the world is talking about being totally electric by 2035.
Wow.
So we're talking about, again, revolutionary shifts in the way that we think about
Right.
transportation, and then and in turn how we think about
That's
energy.
right.
So that's what's happening.
That's right. That's right. So of course I've been pushing Lee to find the land.
There you go. And hey, Synergy would love to
I say you
work with
find
him.
it, and I say, and if you get it on the Nevada side of things,
There it
then you can
is.
put casino slot machines in
That's right.
there, a little burger joint, stuff.
Well, California side, you probably can sell marijuana, right?
Yeah, that's
And probably
right.
Nevada
Yeah, so if
side
they get
too.
it right on the border, man, that would either way won't be a bad
That's the whole
idea,
point, right?
right? So hey,
Right, right, right.
so he has put some thought into it, but he hasn't come back with the land plot yet. You know,
Right, right,
so
right. Yeah.
hopefully, in the future, before somebody beats out the idea, you know,
Right.
he could get one going, be the first.
No
Because
doubt.
that would
No
be
doubt. No
great,
doubt.
and then we can, create wealth
No doubt.
generationally.
That's what it's about. That's what it's
Generational
about.
wealth, because that's the kind of
Right.
thing that we've been talking about: financial solutions, creating generational wealth.
That's right.
We
That's right.
know electric cars are coming. We see the signs everywhere. Every
That's
major
right.
car manufacturer is working on putting electric cars and SUVs on the road. Well, what
Hmm.
does electric cars need? Charging stations.
Electricity.
You
That's right.
know,
Electricity.
so most people don't realize that each car can only run so many hours
That's right.
without having to be recharged.
Right.
So if you put yourself in that position, a conglomerate of people put themselves in a position, then they can have an opportunity to get involved in something. All they got to do is sit back and wait on their money to come.
That's right.
It's
That's right.
interesting in the Chicagoland area. people, especially in the black community, have been, waiting for an opportunity to get into the cannabis business. Now, black folks been selling cannabis all their life.
That's right.
They got family members still in jail messing around with the
Right,
cannabis
right, right,
business. But now they want to
right,
try and
right.
get into it legally, but they can't afford the license. So,
Yeah, yeah.
change your focus from one to another area, and you get government money to build it,
Right.
everything. I mean, you're going to have
That's
a
right. That's right.
whole bunch of help. All you got to
That's
do is
right.
just look the other way. So that's my
Right,
financial
right.
solution help, for today, and
No
and
doubt.
and
No doubt.
and concept for ideas, about
Yes, sir.
financial solution. So now,
Yes, sir.
I know I asked you at the beginning of the show about your
Yes, sir.
chocolate. So please give us an update.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So 57 Chocolate, again, two sisters, the Addison sisters out of Ghana. I love them to death, and they're producing their own chocolate solutions. I'll call it that. Um, made a leap of faith last year and made an investment in some of the chocolate, brought some over. Unfortunately, a lot of folks couldn't get with it. It's a little bit more expensive because it is fine chocolate. It is actually better quality than what most of us think is good chocolate, like the Godiva and the Lindt and the what's the other one that's out there. It's actually better chocolate, not to mention the fact that it's coming straight from the source, right? They work with a collective, a cooperative of cocoa farmers in Ghana. They produce the chocolate in Ghana, and then they produce it from a cultural mindset. Just to tie back into something we said earlier, when you're talking about Accra and Ghana being this hub of cultural welcoming and expression. That's the same concept that they put in this company. The whole concept of the company, 57 Chocolate, speaks to 1957, when Ghana was the country that was pushing the envelope about what does it mean to be African in the diaspora. And Kwame Nkrumah brought that whole concept of Ghana being actually the capital of Pan-Africanism, and this concept of we can do it. We can set our minds to it, and we can do it. And so that's the whole piece around their company, that we can do this, we can make it happen. Why is Switzerland talking about they got the best chocolate in the world when they don't grow one kernel or one pod of cocoa in that country? They get all their cocoa from us.
Hmm.
So that was the whole concept. So I've been 200% behind the concept. And as I mentioned to you, I'm going to be making another investment later this year to try to get 57 Chocolate in the hands of as many people as I can, to say, hey, yeah, I like me some Three Musketeers and Kit Kats too, but y'all need to check out some Moringa chocolate or some Bissap chocolate or some dark chocolate coming straight from home. And it has, again, a cultural significance to it, where they actually highlight the cultural heritage of Ghana, the Ndinkra symbols, which are symbols that were created by our people to express very complex ideas about peace and war and governance and collectivism and all these things that have been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years. So I am still on the 57 Chocolate bandwagon. I'm still going to be trying to get it. Next time I'm on the show, I should have a better update for you, tell you where you can find it. I know Afriware is going to be carrying it because Sister Nzinga over there loved the concept, and she put it on her shelf as soon as I brought it in the door. So we're going to be doing more of that in the months to come.
Good, good, good. Because I know I don't want to leave nothing off the table. I know that was
Yes, sir.
something. I had the opportunity to, try the chocolate out. Loved it. Still love it. Yeah, I was supposed to get something for, a little basket for my Kwanzaa. Yeah, I ain't seen my Kwanzaa bag yet.
Yeah, bro. But unfortunately, the chocolate that I bought was like this time. It was actually like February last year. So by the time Kwanzaa hit, it was actually expired. So I didn't want to give you
That's
bad chocolate.
okay.
But I was looking
Look,
out for you.
man,
I was looking
I'll
out for
take
you.
bad chocolate any day.
It's not bad. I don't want to say it's bad. I'm just doing
Expired.
you
No,
buy a
I know,
chocolate.
because
Right,
right on
right.
the
So
label it says
yeah,
used by.
right, right, right.
But
But it's not bad. I actually ate a piece
okay,
yesterday,
well,
and I'm
good. I'm
not
gonna
even
have to
turning
do.
green yet.
Look,
So
I'm
I'm
gonna have
good.
to take a drive by, so I can get
Hey, bro,
one
I got
thrown
you.
out the window at me. Like.
Nah, I got your faded, bro. I got you faded.
No,
For
but yeah,
sure.
good. So that'll be forthcoming. And
Yes,
even
sir.
now you have developed an even larger team of people to work with you on this, because there's some
Yes, sir.
other radio personalities and other business
That's
people
right.
that have joined forces
That's
with
right.
you to be
Right,
able
right, right.
to help push this into the African community.
That's right.
that
That's right. That's
that
right.
will support something from their homeland and allow it
Right.
to be able to blow up like it needs to.
Right.
Now, go ahead.
But I was just saying, I just want to make that comment too. That's kind of the full circle of what I like to do. Right? Is that let's not just buy from black companies, but let's push our black companies to produce from black resources. Right?
Yes.
There's a company that I love to death that is doing some great athletic wear and has a black theme to it, and they actually gave a nod to John Carlos and all that, but it's made in
Mm.
China. It's made. I'm like, okay, what? How do we shift that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that we can have, because there's brothers and sisters in Haiti, even real close by, who can do the same things that they can do in China and Vietnam and Malaysia and all that. Not to mention in Ghana, and I mean, it costs more to get from over there. But the point is, how do we close that circle so that it's us that is benefiting from every level of the production chain,
Yes.
right?
Yes, I totally agree. Now that brings me up to the next topic.
Yes, sir.
What's going on in the your Rotary world? I know, is there anything
Oh
good
wow.
going on? Anything on
Oh yeah, this
hold? What's going
this
on?
awesome stuff. Yeah. So okay. So real quick, couple things that are big, but in different perspectives, right? So first of all, Rotary, founded in 1905, right here in Chicago. Four white men came together and say, "Hey, how can we trust the people we do business with? Let's create an organization to interact and network." It was actually the first social network, right? And now it's grown into an organization of over 1.4 million people in the world, over 35,000 chapters or clubs. Unfortunately, it has been a good old boy network for many years, especially here in the United States, white older men. And this year, July 1st, Rotary will have its very first international president who was a woman, who
Okay.
you met, who you shared the stage with at
Okay.
my installation in 2015. She
Okay.
will be the first woman president of Rotary, and she says it very clearly. No, I'm gonna be president that happens to be a woman because she's awesome. You heard her speak. You saw what she does.
Yes.
I mean, she doesn't play.
Yes.
And so Jennifer Jones will be our first president who is a woman starting July 1st, and her theme is Imagine Rotary. So that's big. That is a huge thing. And so that's what's happening in the next couple of months. In addition to that, we, as you may remember, my brother Fanam and his
Right.
crew, they put together a program called the MC
Right.
School and was
Right. Right.
churning out
Right.
what they call peace ambassadors. And so we were able to get the Rotary magazine, which has a circulation of about 500,000 readers in the world, got them to write a story on Fanam, and not just Fanam, but the peace ambassadors and MC School. And they got a 17-page spread with pictures and everything, and his face was on the cover. And that was the February issue of the Rotary magazine. And so as a result, there's been calls coming in saying, hey, how do we learn how to do this? How do we understand it? So we're going to be going down to Lake Geneva this Saturday to talk to the Rotarians there. We've been invited down to Peoria to sit down with the mayor and the police chief because they got issues in Peoria similar to what we got here in Chicago. And how do we utilize the same concept here in Peoria? He was invited out to come speak in LA. So there's a lot of traction, because what I'm trying to get people to understand from what we see with MC School and the peace ambassadors is that this is not your grandfather's peace negotiation concept, right? Where we sit around a table and, well, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to give up? Where you put your gun? This is a whole different way of doing peace, a whole different way of building community that I think Rotary can take some ownership in and say, let's put this out as a different mechanism, as a grassroots version of peace building, which works, right?
Yes.
Which because hip hop and spoken word is the language of our young
Right.
people, and if we can use that as a hook to bring people in and say, okay, stop the madness, stop the violence, and work on your flows, and how can you tell a different message than some of the garbage that we're unfortunately hearing on the radios and in the streets? And so that's a paradigm shift, again, a revolutionary shift. I'll use that term again to say, how do we formulate a new way of creating a peaceful community, a peaceful environment, using a tool that came straight from us here in the streets in the United States, and then now is the international language of young people all over the world,
Yes.
right?
Totally.
So that's big. That's big. I'm going to be going actually to Nigeria next month. Yeah, end of next month, because they're going to have their first woman governor
Mm.
in Nigeria. She actually was one of my hosts when I was there in 2013, and we're going to be connected with them. Our club is actually going to be doing some work in Sierra Leone. We actually have actually built a library in Sierra Leone in one of the villages there, and we're going to be going there at the end of October, early November. If you'd like to come with us, Dr. Ron, we'd love to
Yeah,
have you,
right.
because we're going to be there. And no, hey man, it's an opportunity, and part of what our long-term project is going to be is looking at how do we provide other resources like water, because water is still a big
Right.
challenge in many parts
That's
of the
right.
world. 6 billion people don't have fresh water to drink, and eventually Synergy is going to be doing some work there doing solar, because this library is in a village that, again, when the lights go out, it's lanterns, right? So how do we provide electricity? So that's a long-term project, and that's going to be some tie-ins with Rotary as well. So Rotary is still a big part of what I'm doing. And as I mentioned, I travel through it, and I actually are trying to make connections, because part of what we're going to be doing, the International Convention, by the way, is coming up in Houston at the beginning of June, and myself, along with some members of my club and other ones around the area, and also from the continent, we're going to all be there. And one of the things we're going to be creating is a network of people of African descent, a global network, because even within Rotary, even though Rotary is really big in places like Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, Kenya, a little bit in Senegal, a little bit in Sierra Leone and South Africa, but we don't even know each other,
Right.
And so when I go to Nigeria, I'm like, wow, I didn't know there was these many Rotarians. And then I go to a convention, I meet all these Kenyan Rotarians, and I was like, wow, I didn't know there's all these Rotarians. So that's a network that is untapped.
Right.
It's untapped, and it's not just from a service perspective. Because when I went to Nigeria, you met some of my Nigerian
Right.
friends. Now they're part of my family. I'm doing
Right.
business with
That's
some of
right.
them. So and that's the untapped potential that we as people of African descent here in this country don't even realize. That when you talk about people on the continent who are trying to do things, I mean, the middle class there, they come over here, it's like, wow, okay, I can do some things over here. But man, if I went back home, I'd be a
Right.
baller. And they are. And so that's, again, an untapped network that we haven't even started to touch. So how do we do business with those folks who are trying to get stuff done and who would love some partners like us? And we've talked about this before. Of course, you got to have a relationship that's solid,
Right.
right? Because we know people who have unfortunately gotten into some bad situations. But when you build a relationship first on trust and friendship and even family, then business becomes secondary.
Yes.
It becomes an easy
Yep.
transition, right? So that, for me, that's where I see the power of Rotary really becoming tangible, of not just going and doing service and meeting people, but in how do we build business, how do we build family, how do we build global
All
community.
right now. Now, it's almost an hour. So I've been
Yes, sir.
saving the best for last.
The best for last. All
Yes.
right.
Right before we went on the air,
Yes, sir.
you
I be
was
telling.
telling me
I be
about
telling.
your elevation to co-host
Yes, sir.
on a broadcast. Now I like to
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
personally say I am so glad and happy for you, because you are excellent in front of the microphone and in front of the camera. You've always been excellent, and now somebody else has tapped you to bring you onto their show, Dr. KK. We
Yes, sir.
talked about
Yes,
him
sir. Yes,
earlier.
sir.
So
Yes,
please
sir.
tell everybody where they can
Yes, sir.
find you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, thank you again for that plug, brother, Dr. Ron. So Dr. KK Kanayo Deluga, who's my Rotary brother, he and Reverend Johnson have a show on WVON on Sunday evenings from 7 to 9 p.m. It's called Straight Talk Live, featuring the Community Plan Foundation, where we tell the world as we see it. We talk about the world as we see it from an African diasporan perspective. And so I've been on their show a number of times, talking about I've talked about Rotary, talked about things happening in the community. And so he asked me, hey, would you be open to maybe being a co-host with us? I'm like, yeah, I'm honored that you would ask me to do that. And so, as I said to you, I say, man, Dr. Ron, get ready, because I'm going to have to bring you on that show and talk about what you do, because it's all about sharing the wealth. It's all about sharing the love and spreading the love. So I had kind of my debut this past Sunday. Dr. KK had two professors who are from the Igbo community here in the Chicagoland area, one sister out at Indiana, and a brother who I met over Dominican University. And they were talking about this concept of, and I don't know how to say it in Igbo, but it's the same concept. I am my brother's keeper, or some people know the concept out of Zulu, Ubuntu. But it's the same. I mean, and then one of the things we talked about was the universality of African culture. That here you got the Igbo having the same concept as they have all the way down in Southern Africa in Zulu, and that has been the thing that it has been those commonalities and that common thread, if you will, of African culture that has kept us alive and helped us survive and thrive under the yoke of 400 years of chattel slavery into Jim Crow, into civil rights and black power, all of these things. It has been this undergirding philosophies that we brought with us that helped us maintain who we are as African people. So it has been an honor to be asked to do this, and I will try to do my best in bringing the noise and bringing a unique perspective to that show. And again, Dr. Ron, I'm saying it as being a fresh new co-host, you are more than welcome to come on the show either in person. We do also really phone call-ins as well. But yeah, I'm excited about it, and I'm excited about being able to tell a perspective that maybe sometimes gets told, but I think maybe could be told more frequently.
Yes. Well, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
It couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I know for a fact that Sundays used to be your day to
And then
chill,
you recall me.
chill and relax and cool out,
Right, right,
and
right.
you would answer the phone on
Answer
Sundays,
the phone, right.
But now that they didn't,
Not from 7 to 9.
yeah, after they didn't lock you
Right.
in on Sundays, it might be a little hard catching you on Sunday now.
Bro, I've been answering the phone for you much more frequently, brother.
Yes,
No
yes,
matter what
yes,
day. No
yes, and
matter
I
what day.
appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Synergy is on the screen. They can reach out to you
Yes, sir.
there,
Yes,
catch
sir.
up with you if they want to talk to you about business and some of the things that
Yes,
you've been
sir.
going through, because you can help people.
Yes, sir.
If they have a plan or perspective that they need to do some
Right.
things, you've been there and done it. So, you have
Right.
that
Right.
experience to be able to help people. Like, no, don't do
Yes,
it
sir.
that way, do it this way. And it's
Yes, sir.
always
Yes,
good to
sir.
have
Yes, sir.
somebody who has had an experience doing something to be able to, navigate. Makes the navigation
Yes,
a
sir.
lot
Yes, sir.
easier. So I
Yes, sir.
always ask a couple of questions before we get out of here. And the first one I already know the answer to, but I'm going to ask it anyway. You going to come back and see me again?
Of course, my brother. Always. You give the call, I'm there. I will
And
answer the
that is
call, brother.
true. He put it on the
Yes,
schedule at the
sir.
wrong time and then fixed it.
There you go. There you go. Right. It's 6 o'clock,
He
right?
said,
You're like, no, we're alive at 5.
yep. So now, the second question I always ask everybody when they come on the show: what would you like to leave with
Yes.
the people before you get out of here today?
Well, one thing I have to say is I want to send out prayers and love to the community in Buffalo, New York,
Yes.
that has been victimized, unfortunately, as we have, as a people, been victimized since we got here by terrorists, domestic terrorism. We need to continue to use that term. This dude drove 3 hours to go
Yes.
kill some black folks in Buffalo, New York. This needs to be a wake up call for us, folks. Is that this is real? We are not, that term that was thrown around 2008. Or we're post racial. No. Not at all. And we need to be clear about that, that unfortunately there's still a war against us as black people, and we need to be aware of that. I would say in some cases we need to prepare for that, but at least being aware, being forewarned is to be forearmed. That's the saying. So I would definitely want to say prayers and love out to the families and to that community that is struggling right now. And it ain't going to change until we make it change. I'll say one of my instructors always say, we have not made the price high enough for them to not want to pay. I'm going to leave that right there.
Yes. Thank you, man. I can't thank you enough. I appreciate you. I love you.
Yes, sir.
And
True, brother.
much success in everything that you're involved in. Everything you touch will prosper.
Yes, sir. I
That's
appreciate it.
my
Thank
prayer
you.
and blessing.
It's only because of brothers like you, man. Let me be clear about
Yeah,
that.
well, thank you. I appreciate that, man. I do the
Yes, sir.
best I can with what I got to work with. I
Yes,
try
sir.
and offer up my platform, and the 3 or 4 people that follow us,
No
But
doubt. No
I say
doubt.
three
No
or four
doubt.
people sometimes, and then I realize, man, it's people that heard of me. I don't
It's
even know
important.
who they are.
That's right. That's right. They come up to you. Hey, I heard your show. You're like,
Yeah,
all right.
man. So I thank
Yes,
God
sir.
for the opportunity to be able to be the voice of the community and the voice of the people that can hear, that have an ear to hear,
Yes, sir. That's
and
right.
that's what
That's
it's
right.
all about,
Yes, sir.
being a motivational voice for people that have an ear to hear,
Yes, sir. Teach. Teach.
So,
Yes, sir.
man, we're gonna get out of here. You stay right there, don't go anywhere.
Yes,
We're
sir.
gonna close this show out for today.
All right.
I want to invite everybody to come join us on Thursday, right here on Facebook and YouTube on Street News Now. We have a show every Thursday, Six Guys and You, where we be chopping it up, world topics, and putting out good information. So please come and join us on Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Also, I want you to join me each and every Saturday from the desk of Dr. Ron. That's a brand new show that is not brand new anymore, but I get a chance to talk to you, just me to you on YouTube every Saturday, 12 noon. I always get a question or a topic that I like to discuss with you guys and keep you guys informed on what's going on, what's on my mind sometimes, because I do be having some crazy stuff up there, but I tell you, it's all good stuff. And last but not least, please go to my website, ask-dr-ron.com. When you get over there, please browse around, check out all of my advertisers. They make it possible for us to do what we do. I want to thank everybody that have made donations. This is all of the areas where you can make donations, and I appreciate everybody that have supported me. I thank you. Can't do it without you. Please subscribe, like, and share. Subscribe, like, and share on my YouTube channel. When you go over there, find the platform, subscribe. I need your help. I need my numbers to go up. I know y'all over there pocket watching what's going on. Y'all trying to be sneaky with it. Come on out the closet and subscribe, like, and share. See you all on Thursday. Peace and love. Stay blessed. See you all on Thursday.